Ranger! An outcast, lurking among the shadows of the trees like an animal. You murdered one of my soldiers in the name of a filthy thief. Your guilt is clear. Plead for mercy, if you must. Foundling! It is a pity to see you like this. You arrived on our shores a whipped and broken child. Our people made you strong. How were they repaid? Sedition and lies! Speak now, if you choose. Primal Druid! A man torn between two worlds. But our forests have no place for another of your kind. Let the Great Wolf hear your final remarks. Foul witch! Your very own coven cast you out for your forbidden pursuits. Your twisted necromancy ends here, at the end of a noose. Speak your last! Hired hand! Every life has a price, and your crossbow has kept your coin purse full. Here you are judged and found guilty. What say you? Pagan! You failed to liberate your brothers, just as you have failed in poisoning my subjects against me! Call out to your dreamer. Let us see if he answers. Feral Asmirian, expelled from your mountain, you are wild at heart and wild of mind. Oh, how the glory of the Asmiri has faded. I sentence you to death. Say your piece. Sorceress! You were banished by your Akara for experimenting with the elements. Arrogance has led you here, and arrogance keeps you on those gallows. Speak your piece! Ranger! An outcast, lurking among the shadows of the trees like an animal. Foul! Hired hand! Pagan! Ranger! An outcast, lurking among the shadows of the trees like an animal. You murdered one of my soldiers in the name of a filthy thief. Your guilt is clear. Plead for mercy, if you must.
better snare than that to catch me.
By the first ones! You're alive! I'm glad to see another living soul.
You're wounded. What happened?
The miller went off to warn Clearfell about a strange sickness plaguing our men. I was fixing to go after him until that bloody thing got to me first. I would appreciate it if you could... Reach Clearfell. Find the miller.
This is like no sickness I've ever seen. Let's track down this miller. Another string to my bow. Unnatural, but effective. Hurry!
Well done. Please come inside.
Renly's the name. You're skilled with the violence, if what you did out there in the riverbanks is any sign. Another refugee from the Count's justice, I take it. But have no fear. This place is something of a hideaway for many of us now, and we could sorely use your skills in these dark times. I'll smith for you what I can, if you're willing to bend your violence toward our defense. There's a beast of particular dark power stalking us out in the ferry. It moves unseen under the dirt and attacks without warning. We can't leave the walls to find food, and I've been unable to corner and slay the beast myself. Now, if you could channel your violence against this devourer, as Finn calls it, we'd be indebted to you. Take a look. I'll find some use for that. Stick to the cairns.
Tools of the forge turned tools of war. These are dangerous times.
Welcome to the Camp of the Lost, stranger. We survive, but we do not live. I am Una. All this began the night Count Gino took his most loyal men into the Grellwood. After he returned, a madness grew in him. Something happened out there. Please, I beg of you, travel into the forest and begin your search. There must be some clue as to what took place. I fear this land's sickness will only deepen unless we do something.
A songbird makes for easy prey. She'd best watch her back.
By decree of the Count of Ogum, able-bodied men capable of excavation must present themselves at the manor at once. Failure to do so will constitute a crime.
Cut you down!
Over here!
Name's Pharaoh. Some call me Rune Seeker, but Pharaoh will do fine. I'm far from home, but these lands are even more unwelcoming than I expected.
They weren't always this way. Now what brings you to Ogum?
Runes, inscriptions, etched into remnants from ancient times. For whatever reason, they burn brighter in all this bedlam. Now, a smith I may have been back home, but I'm no clansman, no warrior. Perhaps we can aid each other.
Let me guess. I assume the risk. You reap the rewards.
No. We'll share those in equal parts, of course. Speaking of, let's investigate that remnant. Ah, a formidable inscription. But we can add to it. Combinations of inscriptions react to the will of the inscriber. Look here. My tome contains many rune shapes. Try your hand at one. That was impressive. The Verisium in that remnant was mighty powerful. You did well. Now, I've traveled to Ogum because I'm researching the origins of my craft. Some Ezamites would say rune shapes were simply brought to us by the first ones. But I reckon there's more to the tale.
The first ones gave us many things. Who's to say runes weren't among them? Wouldn't mind knowing the truth myself.
Help me in my research, and I'll do what I can to aid in your undertakings. Seek out more remnants like this one. It'll be worth your while. Good on you.
Sleep, my pretties, as you grow. Sleeping eyes.
Oi. Take a look. Might make good scrap. stick to the cairns. Well, this place was never meant to house this many people, especially not the sick and injured. But there's nowhere else to go. The monsters creeping out of the forest keep us locked within these wooden walls, and the Count's tyranny has made outlaws of everyone here. So nobody's coming to save us. I don't have the heart to tell the others I don't see a way to survive this. I put on a brave face, but it's the truth. This part of Farrell has been a fair home for many an Essamite generation. The clans didn't always get along, but we had to settle our feuds when the Eternals laid their savage boot upon us. We weren't able to take part in the Bloody Flowers Rebellion, but we had our share of conflict with them here. Their ruins run over the top of ours, fighting a silent war in stone. Bad enough I have all these folks to protect. I've been worried sick about my son ever since the Count's men arrested him. I was hoping you might have seen him when you were in their custody. He's a big lad, but you can't miss him because, well, he's not from around here. I found him washed up on the riverbanks when he was just a child, a Karoi foundling, perhaps lost by some raiding party. Nobody ever came for him, though. Every day here in Clearfell, I keep my eyes on the river, hoping he'll miraculously wash up on its lonely sands just one more time. It's a shame what happened to old Brannock. He was a kind man in life, but I can't say I'll miss the creature he became. Oh, he tried to batter his way in for 5 full days once he rose again. Well, we thought we were done for, but then you came along, and I'm glad you did.
Sorry, I was just... Friendly brings the strength, thin brings the wit, and I'm doing my best to keep spirits raised with my songs. Hope is the only thing we have now, but it's in short supply. He doubts himself, but I know he will find a way to protect us. He is a good man, and I am thankful for his presence. In many ways, he reminds me of my father. I survive, but all that I was is gone. Count Gino has only been growing more and more cruel with his justice. He arrested my father for bringing in the harvest 1 day late, and the rest of my family scattered and fled as the soldiers came for them. I was away when it happened, but my neighbors warned me on my way home, and I fled. Clearfell is as far as I could go before the dangers of the forest closed in. There is scant hope in my heart for my father, but I must believe my mother and my 2 younger brothers escaped, even though my heart tells me that they are just songs now. I keep longing for a ray of light to cut through the darkness of these bleak days. Please, take your time.
arrow! Had to be done.
The Devourer is just another victim of the sickness infecting our precious land. Many of Ogham's beasts are fearsome and dangerous, but not like this. The infection in the soil, water, and air is changing them. All of them. It is sad to see such a great creature slain, but it was no longer what it once was. I suppose it had to be done. Finn makes fun of my collection, but I think it's charming.
Ah, finally! Took down the Devourer, did you? Oh, that's incredible! This is the first real success we've had against the darkness. We can breathe a bit easier now, perhaps even go out and gather food. Now, this won't cover our debt to you, not nearly, but take it as thanks. How's the clearing? Take a look. I'll find some use for that.
Sorry, I've collected these over time. What do you...
Nice try.
I have received reports of a number of villagers hiding at the Clearfell logging site. Travel there and convey my order to return. Anyone refusing my authority should be considered a traitor and a criminal. Deal with them as you see fit, but bring their bodies back to the manor.
Forest's overrun with fungi. Never been this way before. What's done this to the roots? Home of the Grellwood Witch. What happened here? Corruption claims another victim. Too slow!
yes? The first ones ran wild through the grellwood of old, hunting and brawling as they saw fit. It is said that the spirits of the forest would watch them and be entertained. Over time, the forest became abundant with the joys of those spirits and their old magics. It was a haven for the unity of life and spirit. That place of beauty has now become shadowed and deadly. The curse upon this land has made the known paths of the grellwood twisted and treacherous. So much so that we can no longer even reach our home. I've collected these over time. Bye.
The roots have grown like a scab covering a wound. Even the trees have become twisted with corruption. Has the tree not endured enough?
By decree of the Count of Ogum, those condemned to hang from these branches are to be left until their hearts no longer beat, their lungs no longer fill with air, and their flesh is no longer warm. In death, you are not forgiven. Your souls will remain trapped here by this ancient moor of maligned wood, and the grove will be forever denied you. Rot here in the Grelwood for all time, and good riddance.
What happened here? This shade, is it still alive? Perhaps it can give us the answers we seek. Only the Count's sword has the power to bind souls to the tree like this. We must free it somehow. To release that being from the Tree of Souls, we'll need more than simply cutting his robe. The ancient runes that imbue the Count's blade created the binding, and only ancient runes can break it. There is a battlefield not far from here that runs red with rust, where the weapons and armor of countless Ezamites still remain. We call it the Red Veil. You should search the area. There may still be power in some of those centuries-old relics. Renly will know how to forge them, bring the runes to him, and then, perhaps, we shall find some answers. I'll wait here. The old magics will protect me.
arrow.
Did you find the runes? The Red Veil played host to the final and bloodiest battle of countless conflicts. It was in the heart of that veil that we fought for our freedom against the Eternals. We did win, in a sense. But the cost was far greater than anyone expected. Many generations of able-bodied men and women gave their lives to push off the boot of oppression. Ogham's clans haven't been the same since, even centuries on. My mother's mother told me tales of this tree. Our ancestors used it to attract fey spirits, until it was given a darker purpose under the Eternals. They would leave Ezamites strung up on the tree, alive, to starve, to be pecked at by birds. So this is the source of my shadowed dreams. Not the tree, but the shade upon it. As strange as it sounds, I believe we should help this creature. For the Count to bind it to the tree, it must be involved in all of this somehow. There is something very wrong in Ogham, and it may know something of it. The great sword Agnar is currently in Count Geonor's possession. But the mighty rune blade was not always his to wield. It is an ancient weapon of the old magics, inspired by the Great Wolf himself. Legend says it was forged and runed for the original clan leader so he might lead his people to a new, safer land. This brought them to Farrell, where they founded Ogham. Ever since, Agnar was passed down to the leader of the strongest clan. When the position of Count was established in Ogham, the sword was bound to the roll. But now, Geonor sullies his remarkable history with his misdeeds. I hope I will live to see the day when someone worthy takes up the sword once more. Search the veil.
Nice try! this place.
I've collected these over time. I will treasure it. Bye.
This holds the runes I seek. That should hold the last piece.
We stand united.
Into nothing. Your war is long over.
collected these over time. What do you stay safe, if you can?
Such ancient power.
These are just some odds and ends of another for my collection. Thank you. He wears an eloquent mask of words. I doubt anyone here has seen what lies beneath. For many summers, I watched him cut smooth circles around the village square, moving from partner to partner, as if he was attending one of those famed eternal masquerades. Always masked. Always pretending to be something he wasn't. Never serious. It's a shame, because when a masquerade ends, everybody that is real goes home. But he'll still be dancing, masked and alone. Stay safe, if you can. I see you've already found relics with the runes we need. What luck! The first ones are truly watching over us. Renly will know how to forge them. Bring what you've gathered to him, and then perhaps we shall find some answers. Keep searching the veil.
Here are your spikes, but be cautious. They stayed warm after forging, no matter how many times I quenched them. I would ask what you need these for, but I'm putting my trust in you. That place used to be a kind and warm wood. I even played there when I was young. It's a dark well now, with no way out for most. I'd go with you, but I got people to protect here. Stick to the cairns.
Let's hope nature is listening.
Now the others. He's unconscious, but he's breathing. Though, this wound... We should take him back to Clearfell. He may be the only one who knows what truly happened out here. Goodbye. wound. It should be fatal, but somehow he clings to life. I fear it will not be long until his song ends. He will never heal while the Count's binding still holds sway. Only by a Count's hand can this binding be released. I know an old tale, one that speaks of a ring we might be able to recover, buried 3 centuries ago in our ancient graveyard. A Count's signet ring, bearing his rune of authority. But how to reach it in time? The grim tangle. The overgrown sinkholes and gullies that run beneath Ogham can lead you there. The path is dangerous, but go back to the Grelwood. Find the entrance. We shall see if the spirits of this land still have the will to see you through. The graves of our people lie beneath the Eternal's tombs. Despite their best efforts to bury our legacy, we remain. Now they are gone, and we live on. This is the cycle of life as we have always known it. Everyone dies, but the clan endures, and the greatest glory an Ezomite can attain is to live on in a song or a poem. That is why we do not fight the wood and stone to reclaim our buried graves. And it is something the Eternals never understood. We don't need the graves. We still have the songs and the stories that matter. They could never take those from us. Bye. If the Fae spirits are still watching, I believe they will help us. Please. The old magic still thrive. The way is open. Please, hurry.
That was quite remarkable. symbols are like those on the Tree of Souls. I should show Pharaoh.
What's this, then? These inscriptions. I've never laid eyes on them before. Give me a moment.
What was all that?
The energy from the runestone seems to have moved on. What's more, I'm picking up others in the region. If we find more like this, then I might be able to pinpoint where the energy got to. Keep up the search.
Better off this way.
Has been abducted! That bastard tyrant Praetor Draven! He's taken my family hostage! They're being held somewhere beyond these gates. I never thought he would stoop this low. I sent for reinforcements, but it's been so long. I must get through the gate. The keys! Where are the blasted keys? I believe those cowards took them!
That man's mind seems as dead as this cemetery.
Are you numbing their head? There's much to do!
I like to hold on to bits and pieces. Any that catch your eye? Yes? Yes? Please, take your time. I will treasure it. Goodbye. Goodbye. Stay safe, if you can.
I heard you're heading for the village. When I fled for my life, there was no time for me to grab all my smithing tools. If you do manage to reach my forge, you should find them and bring them here. I'll set up a bench, and we can see about working on your equipment. Tread as heavily as you like. The Eternals stomped their graves all over ours when they had a conqueror's foothold here. Now if those graves have turned up and released their dead, take our vengeance on them. Some even say, when the night is darkest, our ancestors still fight theirs among the tombs, and I don't doubt it. A true Esamite never surrenders their land, not even in death. Take a look.
I shall cut you down.
Our victory is never complete, so long as the Esamites resist us. Let this graveyard erase their stain on the land.
Time to seek out this Draven.
eternity to regret your intrusion here. Your meaningless life ends now. Rend your soul. These spirits are mine! Life ends now. Cut down. Perish. The spirit's hunger. Your intrusion will be punished. My beloved. Your meaningless life ends now. Your
arrogance, humbled by my hand.
You felled the Praetor! By the first ones! I can't quite believe it! But there's no time to waste. We must get through the gate. Find the Praetor's witch. Find the other key. Arkham. Oh yes, Arkham. This is the oldest home of the Ezelmites as we know ourselves. Past generations departed from here to settle Ezomir and the Isles of Scorn. We did not always call this part of Farrell our homeland. And now the Eternals have come with their armies and laid claim to this place. It'll be a cold day in the Vastiri Desert before we submit. Before Farrell. The songs aren't clear after so much time. A great many generations ago, we were driven here from elsewhere. There was simply too much corruption, too much darkness. It was a time of chaos and terror, and much was lost. Our clan swore that this was the last time we would ever be cast out of our homes. Rise up, Ezelmites! We shall drive off these eternal bastards! The Praetor! Oh, the Praetor! That monster! He is the worst man the Eternals could have chosen as a custodian for this territory. Had he come to us in peace, the clans might have been willing to talk. But that damned swine regards us as nothing but dogs. He invaded the village in the night without warning, without honor. He seized my family to try to force us to surrender. The Eternal Empire cares for nothing but power. Mark my words, we will not be ground under the heel of tyranny. The consort? Oh, Asinia. Curse the foul witch. She mired our lands with hexes upon our graves, so the dead may not die. She was but a servant girl to the Praetor's family. It was said she poisoned his first wife, aspired to replace her. She succeeded, and Draven, he was not dismayed by the darkness in her, he embraced it. And together, they conspired in their vile ambitions. Uprising? The uprising, of course! The clans are uniting to fight for their freedom. We are making our stand in the Vale.
Let this be a testament for all time. The Eternal Empire stakes claim over this land, both in life and death.
The Praetor's wife must be in here somewhere.
My love, I call to you!
Foul intruder.
May your name be forgotten by the clans, once and for all.
You did it?
Sorry, I was just... I understand you did what you had to. Please, let us not speak of it further. I've collected these over time. It's beautiful. I accept.
You did it! Do my eyes again deceive me? You have the keys! You showed those eternal bastards! Use the keys to open the gate! Let's go and free my family! At last, it's open! Praise the first ones! What is this? Graves! Isabel! Torquil! Callum! The family of Count Lachlan of Ogham. My family! This doesn't make any sense! They're dead! Those bastard Eternals! I must make them pay!
Was a mercy.
I'm picking up another runestone nearby.
It seems something has tainted the bounty of Ogham.
My tool is lighting up good and proper here. Go on, see if you can find the source.
On it.
Oi, it's you! The mysterious woman in the forest. We've never officially met, but you've certainly given me quite the fright a time or two. I am Finn, and I shall be your humble provider of useful and diverse objects that are most definitely not scrounged or stolen. If I don't got it, I can get it. You just let me know.
Spirits in the trees be damned. You actually entered the Red Veil and survived. Every Ogham kid knows, if you step 1 foot in there, you'll be skewered and eaten. Well, those kids that are lucky enough to have a mother, that is. I have a grand quest for you, hero. The kind that'll get you woven into legend. It's not at all a minor personal matter that you might ignore. How do I explain this? Before this dreary place, you could say I was something of a, wanderer. There's a clanless enclave known as the Fraythorn that makes its home high in the trees near the hunting grounds. They helped me out a time or two over the years. A little while back, a group of strangers arrived out of the deep woods. They made strange altars and started whispering to the others about their religion. That was when I decided to move on. See, now I got to thinking, if Count Gianor and his men are mad enough to burn the village, then maybe the clanless are in trouble too. Will you pay them a visit? I used to be mildly fond of a fair few of them. Oh, Renly's all right. Only man in the village that didn't run me out of town whenever he saw me. Well, maybe it's because he didn't have a daughter to protect. As an esteemed member of no clan at all, I had the distinct honour of wandering through the lovely sights of all 4 seasons. Summer heat, winter chill, take your pick. For company, it was my pleasure to sup with the outlaws, the deranged, and the unwanted. It's simply unthinkable that I never met a nice girl to settle down with, isn't it? It won't be like this forever. I'm gonna build my palace someday. Been planning it since I was small and found myself on my own. Imagine with me, if you will, a vast span of wood above you in the trees. That's the foundation you're looking at. You'll ascend a tremendous spiral staircase around an ancient trunk and find yourself approaching a treehouse worthy of the first ones. Dozens of lavish bedrooms, two stocked kitchens, tall spires, a tower that looks out over all of Ogham, and half a Farrell for good measure. Isn't it glorious? That's where I really live. This cold, damp, hungry world is just an illusion. I was the first to notice the Mad Count's fist closing around this land. He kept rounding up people like me for reasons that smelt like wolf droppings. I'm a bit of a slippery fish though, so I dodged his nets. Then his mercenaries started coming for people I actually liked, and that's when I knew something was up. The village folk kept defending his actions. I don't know why they couldn't see it. Maybe they didn't want to see it. Oh, Una? Yeah, I know her. I was, elsewhere when the Count tried to arrest her family, but I certainly heard about it. It's just a coincidence we both ended up here. Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't follow her or anything like that. It would be unheard of for a clan girl and an outcast to, well, whatever you're thinking, don't. That's where I stand on it. You gotta be grounded in the real world. Don't get hung up on things that can never be. It'll just break your heart. Take a punt. You know you want to. None of it's junk. Guess I can help move that for you.
At least he's honest about being a liar.
This will most certainly break the Count's binding. Give me a moment. I don't know how to ask this of you, but I was forced to leave behind something of great importance to me when I fled. My lute. It was carved by my mother when she first taught me to sing. It's in my family home in the farmlands. If you happen to travel near those ways, it would mean the world to me if you could look for it. Goodbye.
How long has it been? I was hunted. The Count, he stole something that is beyond dangerous. It will cause sickness, then madness. It can still be contained. We must put the seed back.
This seed, is that the source of Ogham's affliction?
Yes. Please, find it. I am still too weak. This will only grow worse.
So if we are to heal this land, we must find this seed. Beyond our clan graves is the hunting grounds. Cut through those to reach the village. Please, go as quickly as you can and see what you can find. I fear there is not much time.
"20 years ago, in the wake of those tremendous events, mankind was busy with its own survival. No one was looking for me, and no one saw me. I lurked in high places and dark places, seeking to keep the seeds safe from men of ambition. In recent years, however, I found myself continually forced to move from place to place. There was always one more hunter, one more patrol, one more grove being cut down or cave being mined. There was nowhere to hide, and my path inexorably took me here, which was apparently exactly where someone wanted me to be. This was all a trap, laid over the course of years, and at colossal expense. Someone wanted the seed at any cost, which surely bodes ill for their intentions. I wait here.
Fury!
at your last beast!
Screaming anymore, are you?